We are going to begin with the word solve. Solving a triangle means finding all the angles. It means finding all the sides. Okay? So, step 1, step 2. Wrong word, not step. Objective 1, objective 2. What allows us, what math tools do we have to find angles in a triangle? You have 2. So to accomplish objective 1, finding angles, what are the 2 ways you have that find angles? Your calculator does one and your brain does the other. What on your calculator allows you to get an angle value? Right. So you can do shift sine, shift cos, or shift tan. That will find you angles. So you know to solve a triangle, you might very well have to do a shift tan, shift cos, or shift sine. Right? What is another way that allows you to find angles? What do you know about the angles in a triangle? They add up to something. Right. Angles in a triangle add to 180. So if you know any 2 angles, do you know the third? Why? Add them up and subtract. Since we're doing trig, we always have a 90-degree angle, don't we? So we really only need to do 90 minus that angle, don't we? Because 90 degrees is taken up right there. Those are the 2 things you are going to need to do to find angles. So if you need to solve a triangle, you are going to need to do one or both of those things. You need to know that. Does it matter when you do it? No, just like it doesn't matter when you make your bed. How do you accomplish objective 2, which is finding all the sides? Shift sine found you angles. So what are you going to use to find sides? What? You're going to do regular sine, cos, tan, and then algebra. And that will get you the sides. Do you have another thing that works to find sides of a right angle triangle? Pythagoras. Which is not a squared, b squared, c squared. Leg 1 squared plus leg 2 squared equals h squared. Or, what do we call the legs in trig? What are the legs always? Opposite squared plus adjacent squared will get me h squared. Right? All of that finds your sides. Now, if you are asked to solve a triangle, you must do these 4 things in any order. There is no right way. There is no wrong way. And the reason I say this is because if you just write out what you know, you cannot do it wrong. In this triangle, what do I know? I have a theta of 65, right? I have, using that angle, because that's the only thing I know, what is 41? I have an opposite of 41. What do I need? I need the hypotenuse, and I need the adjacent. Right now, I am going to name this guy what? What would be this guy's name? You could call him H. What else could you call him? Lil B. What else could you call him? AC, CA. Is there a right name to give him? No. I'm going to use little b because that reinforces the way we label triangles. Understand? Now, why is that a problem to make the hypotenuse little b? Because it's labeled C and a squared, b squared, c squared, which means nothing, doesn't it? And A would be little c, right? Now, apply one of these tools to this information. Does it matter which one you apply? No, it doesn't at all. Every one of you could apply one of these four things right now. I'll tell you what I would do first, and you can see if you would agree. Everybody think of the step they're going to take. You don't need to write it down yet. Just think of it. Here's what I would do first. Angle C equals 90 minus 65. Because that gives me that angle, and I got to do no trig. Why is it 90 minus 65? Because I already have 90 degrees right there. It's not 180, because I've already accounted for 90 degrees, right? So what is angle C? 25 degrees. Done. How many of you would have used that one first? One. Okay, no problem. Doesn't matter. Is he any more right than the rest of you? At the end of this question, if we have all written C equals 25, have we done it correctly? Yes. What else do you know? You have O, you need H, you have O, you need A. What can you use? You could use tan right now. How many of you would use tan right now? Because there's an O and an A. 3 of you? Cool. How many of you would use sine right now? Because there's an O and an H. Cool. What's the only thing you can't use right now? Cos. Why? No A, no H. So you can't do it. So all you got to do is decide which one you are going to use. Sine, and I'm going to write it out because I'm practicing. Sine of theta equals O over H. Now put in what you don't know. Do you know theta? What is it? 65. Do you know O? What is it? 41. H, we said, was little b. Now I do algebra. The unknown is on the bottom, so it is multiply or divide. Divide. B equals 41 over sine 65. Then you're going to do that math. I'm not going to do that math because it's not important right now. Now, do you now know your hypotenuse? You do, right? Right? Now, since you know your hypotenuse, could you use cos to find this side? You can because you have a hypotenuse, right? Could you use tan to find this side? Yes, because you have an O. Could you use Pythagoras to find this side? Yes, because you have two sides. Who's right? All of them. Who chooses? You do. So the first thing I would do here is I would find that. This is my method. So I would go 41 divided by sine 65, and I would get that to be 45.24. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think my calculator shows 45.24? No, my calculator shows a whole screen, doesn't it? Am I going to use that number again later? So should I clear it off my calculator? No, I'm going to leave it sitting right there. But I'm going to write it here in case of what? In case I hit clear, in case I punch something in wrong. I need something there, don't I? But even if I hit clear, if I've written out all my work, can I not get my proper number back right there? If I write it out, is it possible to screw it up? No. And yet, you guys won't write stuff out. I don't know why. So I've got my number right there. And I now, since I have my hypotenuse of 45.24, which is sitting right on my calculator, I know that tan of 65 is 41 over little c. Hey, wait a minute, the h doesn't help me. So can I clear this? Yes, because I chose not to use it. Do you understand? I chose not to use it, so this becomes c equals 41 divided by tan 65. And I get 19.12. Do I have 1, 2, 3 sides? Yes. Do I have 1, 2, 3 angles? Did I solve it? Could I have done it in 9 other ways? Would I have gotten the same numbers every time? Yes. Do I care what way you do? No. What do I care about? On this whole page, what is the most important section? Is it the section circled with green? Or is it the section circled with blue? What's more important? Blue. Because green is your choice. Blue are the tools you are going to use to make those choices. Do I make myself clear? You choose, so you do it. If I said, here's a piece of wood, here's a nail, what are you going to do? Go get a hammer. You don't have a hammer. You're going to get something else to bang that nail in. You're going to solve the problem. You know what to do. That nail needs to get into that piece of wood. Same thing here. These are your tools. Use them. Okay? Everybody good? All right, now listen to me and listen to me closely. Your next page, or not your next page, the bottom of that page is just boring old trig. There's no fun, there's no reward, except, yay, I know how to do trig. The previous 3 pages in your book have fun puzzles. I'm going to suggest you do those puzzles because they are very useful in reinforcing this blue section. I'm going to show you each of those puzzle sheets now so you can understand how it works. Remember, what's important on the puzzle sheet? Figuring out the joke or doing the math? Doing the math. Which means when you get to that point where you're almost done and you can start guessing what letters go in to spell words, should you do that or should you do the math? You should do the math. At the end of it all, what if your words don't make any sense in English? Is it a stupid joke or did you do the math wrong? You did the math wrong. So go back and fix it. Okay? So let's look at this first one. Sine A. What finds me sine? Opposite over hypotenuse. In this triangle, where is A? Right there. What is opposite to A? 5. So 5 must go on the top. What is the hypotenuse? 13. So sine A is 5/13. There it is right there. So the number 1 gets the letter R. That's it. Please notice that I'm asking you specifically for the fraction here. to get you used to taking those numbers off of a triangle. Now, please notice what happens here. That's not a number we are used to seeing, is it? We are used to seeing a number there. But does that change the rules? Of course not. That is still adjacent to A. So even though it's a root 3, if I'm doing cos of A, that's going to be the numerator. Right? Okay. That's how you do the margarine page. Go to the next page. This is exactly what you've been doing all the way along. On each question, you have a theta, you have an A, an O, or an H, and you have to find one other. Right? In this question, you have a theta of 32, you have an hypotenuse of 4, and you need to find the opposite of x. So you don't need A. So what am I going to use? Sine, cos, or tan? Sine. So you would do the math. And it would be sine 32 equals O x over 4. Solve that with algebra. 4 times sine 32. 2.1. You go to 2.1 and you cross it out on that page. Got it? Again, what's more important? The math or the answer? The math. Do it. And the third page. Third page. Don't look, don't look, don't look. Don't look, I forgot to erase it. Don't look. Nobody saw. Whew, that was close. Third page, the question is, please notice all the answers are what? Degrees. What finds you degrees? Shift, sine, cos, and tan. So in this question, this is the angle I need, so that's where I am starting from, right? What do I have? I have an O and I have an H. So this must be shift sine, right? And shift sine gets you I can't remember. But you would do shift sine of 3 divided by 5. I can't remember what angle it gives you. I think it's 37, but I'm not totally sure. Great. So 37 degrees would get an N. Okay? Okay. Nothing new. 3 pages of trig practice, because practice makes you good. It doesn't make you perfect. It makes you good. Do it. You've got, I can't remember how long class goes, so 125, I think. Panther app. 120. You got 27 minutes to do this. Remember, tomorrow you are quizzing on SOHCAHTOA, single triangles only. Stuff like this. Okay? Score!